Hello, students. Today we will take up another poem of CBSE Class 10, Fire and Snow. Explanation of the poem. But before we start with the explanations, it is yours and my channel, and I request you to like, share, and subscribe my channel. So let's take up the poem Fire and Ice. This is again a poem of Robert Frost. It expresses the deep idea that the world would come to an end in either of the two ways, either by ice or by fire. Now, both these components are elements, they are compared with the self destructing emotions of human beings hatred and desire. Ice symbolizes hatred, and fire symbolizes burning desire. The poem has been very artistically written, and the philosophy of the poem has been mentioned by the poet in a very, what should I say, beautiful manner. We let our emotions rule over us, but if we don't control them, we will become a victim to our emotions. We need to be guided both by reason and by logic as well as by emotions. But we cannot let loose our emotions to dominate over us. Similarly, the poet thinks, fire and ice both are just as competent in bringing the world to a dangerous calamity. Theme of the poem. We need to understand it. The destructive power of human desire and the end of the world brought on by either fire, that is the burning passion or emotion, or ice, the hatred or indifferent attitude. These are the themes of the present poem written by Robert Frost, Fire and Ice. The poem examines the possibility that either extreme emotions or total indifferent attitude can bring about the end of the world. So it's a human beings who are enough to bring the world to an end. We don't need to depend upon the natural calamities or the catastrophes of nature. Robert Frost, his poem Fire and Ice, is a strong symbolical poem where fire is used to denote the passions and the emotions, and ice stands for hatred and indifferent attitude. He has used the idea of these two groups who have their own possible explanations to bring about the end of the world. One is of the opinion that fire alone can destroy the world, while others think that ice as a result of extremely low temperature can cover the earth's surface and leads it to the end. Both the components are compared with the self destructing human emotions, desire and hatred. The poet is very specific when he says that he has been very closely related with the fiery desires that brings the earth on the verge of destruction. So he considers fire as one of the components to bring about the end of the world. But then he also thinks that icy, cold, lifeless hatred is also capable to bring about the end of the world. Therefore, if earth was to end twice, ice could be just as good as that of fire. If the fire can bring quick destruction, ice will lead to very silent destruction. Similarly, if the fire is pure passion, ice is pure reason. So the poem has been artistically composed that we should not allow our emotions to rule over us. Clear? Now, I'll read the poem and then I'll go for another explanation. Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I have tested of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. The poem expresses the profound or the deep idea that the world will come to an end in either of the two ways, either by ice or by fire. One group is of the opinion that someday the earth will come to an end by the fiery passions or emotions. On the other side, the second group of people says that if the temperature goes down to an extent that makes life on earth impossible, it would have the same catastrophic effect. The poet then compares fire and ice with the destructive features of human emotions, desire and hatred. He says that from what he is aware about fiery desires, he would favor the ones who say that it will be fire. So he goes for fire. By saying so, he brings about the idea that human beings, when they let their emotions rule over them, and the result is total chaos and confusion. Again, by not waving off the first option of fire, he also gives a second thought about the role of ice in bringing about the end of the world. So he brings about a contrasting picture between ice and hatred, the human capability of insensitivity, and hatred has the power of bringing inner destruction. Though it is very slow and steady, but it has the same effect that desire, as symbolized by fire, it has on us. So, both fire and ice are capable to bring about a catastrophic end of this earth. Some of the difficult words having their meanings: desire. It's a strong feeling of wanting something. Favor, support. Perish, die. Suffice, that is sufficient. Clear? Now the literary devices used in the poem. Rhyming pattern is ABA, ABC, BCB. Just for us to understand. The poem has assonance, that's a repetition of the vowel sounds in the same line. The repetition is at different places in different words. For example, the sound of O in I hold with those who favor fire. So O is repeated here. Alliteration, figure of speech in which the consonant is repeated in two consecutive words. Okay. For example, sound of F in favor fire. F is repeated twice. W in world will. Imageries are there in the poem involving our five sense organs. For example, some say the world will end in fire. To say that for destruction, ice is also great. Next is anaphora, the repetition of a word or expression at the start, two of more consecutive lines. Take an example: some say is repeated at the start of the lines 1 and 2. Personification, that is, to give human qualities to inanimate objects or non living objects. In this poem, fire and ice, they are capable of destruction. So the poet personifies fire and ice by giving them the mind and power to destroy anything. Next is enjambment. It is defined as the thought or clause that does not come to an end at a line break. Rather, it moves over to the next line. From example, from what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. I hope you will like this poem because it's a lovely poem by Robert Frost. And I request you to listen to the explanation to make your conception clear. Hope to see you again in the near future with another lesson for our CBSE syllabus. Till then, thank you very much.